सारा प्रणाम। सारा समय के साथ आज एक खास बातचीत में केंद्रीय खाद्य मंत्री महोदय श्री K.V.Thomas साहब आज हमारे साथ हैं। खाद्य एक ऐसा मसला है जिसका सरोकार हर इंसान से, हम सभी से है, और शायद हमारा देश दुनिया में पहला देश होगा जो कि भोजन को एक बुनियादी मौलिक अधिकार के रूप में हर इंसान को देना चाहता है। और वर्तमान यूपी सरकार की ये सबसे बड़ी सबसे महत्वाकांक्षी योजना होगी, जिसके बारे में बातचीत करने के लिए श्री K.V.Thomas साहब केंद्रीय खाद्य मंत्री महोदय आज हमारे साथ हैं। सर, वेलकम टू सहारा टेलीविजन न्यूज चैनल सहारा समय। सर, is it likely that in the present budget session the government is going to account for this food security bill?
Now the bill that is introduced in the parliament, as the procedure is, before the standing committee. Now standing committee has to go through this bill, discuss with the state governments and various stakeholders. Then they will come back with their suggestions. Only after we get the suggestions from the standing committee, then we will be able to formulate and give a final shape to the bill. In between, myself and my officers are in touch with the various state governments because they have sent various proposals. Right. And those proposals will also be looked into it, because this bill can be implemented only with the help of the state governments.
True, sir.
Both the central and state government have to go together. So we are finding out the areas where there are differences, the areas where we are going together, and the areas where there are differences, how it will be settled. So this is the work we are doing it, but standing committee, as usual, is going ahead with their studies, discussions and interactions.
So maybe not in the budget session, but maybe in the next.
May not be next.
Maybe. That things they take their own time. So that
takes it. It's an important bill.
Right, sir.
You cannot rush it.
Certainly. So that reminds one of early 70s when the Congress government gave a very sincere slogan like "Garibi Hatao, remove poverty." Now, hunger is something very basic, of course, concerns all of us. Yeah. So, would the government like to bring it as a slogan, something like "Bhook mitao, remove hunger," something like that, sir?
So, already we have got a number of slogans. For example, when Nagari Balika and Panchayati Raj bill came, it was the empowerment of women, and the administrative power is going down to the people. Then you have the right to information, right to work, right to education. Similarly, this is right for food. It's an important legislation we are bringing forward. So I think this may be one of the unique legislations which has happened in any part of the world.
Right, sir. Sir, how do you propose to deal with the huge fiscal involvement that will be entailing upon this?
I think there has been some kind of a unrealistic approach regarding the fiscal burden. Fiscal burden is something which we can bear. That is how we have formulated. And more than that, this is for the people who are in hunger, just to give food to the poor people. So there is no question of the problem of money, but still, on a physical analysis, at present, our subsidy component is 63,000 crores, which is on the basis of 93-94 poverty line and 2,000 population.
Sure.
Now the new census is, caste census is going on. 2011 population we have to consider. If you take that 2011 census and the population, then the present TPDS system itself will cost about 1,09,000 crores. And when the food security bill comes, the subsidy is about 1,12,000 crores, a difference of about 3,000 to 4,000 crores, which a government, which a state like India can bear. So I don't think that financial angle is not a big problem.
Right, sir. So the delivery system of this food mechanism, that will continue to be the PDS, the TPDS?
That is the important one.
Sir.
See, we have to concentrate on a better procurement, storage, transportation and distribution. Because in the PDS system there is leakage. I'm told that there is about 15 to 20% leakage.
True, sir.
At present there are about 20 crores of ration cards. After we started the modernization, it's a slow process. From 20 crores it has come down to 18 crores. So this is a highly subsidized food. When I give rice for the BPL families, per kilogram, I am bearing a subsidy component of about 16 to 18 rupees. So when I am bearing such a huge subsidy, the food should go to the designated people. So one of the important tasks before the state governments and the central government is to modernize the PDS system so that the loopholes are being closed. Then storages, procurement. There is pilferages and damages at the time of when we procure it, store it and transport it. So these are the areas we are working out. Then we need a huge storage modern mechanisms. At present we have got 63 million tons capacity with us. Out of about 50% is the covered godowns and 50% is the open godowns. Right. And these are all old godowns. Now what we need is the temperature controlled godowns. So we are trying at that. We have already decided to 152 lakh tons of modern godowns within 2014. We are also trying to build about 2 million tons of silos. So these are the areas we have to give a thrust where we need money. But this is an investment. Even if there was no food security bill, these basic infrastructure has to be built.
Even otherwise this was required by the country. So maybe you are directing the Food Corporation of India, the FCI and the Central Warehousing Corporation to augment the storage capacity?
So what we do is FCI is the major operational agency of Government of India. We are strengthening FCI. At one point of time, about 6 or 7 years back, there was a proposal to dismantle this institution and have everything on the private sector. But the government has taken this government has taken a conscious decision that FCI will be strengthened. Because if FCI is not there, there is no mechanism to ensure that the farmers are getting the MSP price. And there is no mechanism that the public distribution system will work regularly without any problem, even if there is a crisis like drought or flood. So FCI is an important mechanism that has to work in the country. So we are strengthening FCI. Then we should have warehouses. So several warehouses are there, state warehouses are there. Also under the RKVY scheme and Gramin Bandar scheme, there are a number of projects which the state governments can make use of for constructing the modern godowns.
So storage has been a constant issue that has often led to lots of avoidable wastage of food grains in our country. As they say, of a grain saved is a grain produced. So,
but I have got a view on this because it has been flared up that there is a lot of waste. I don't agree with that point. We had a wastage of about 2.5% about 5 years back in our storages, transportation under the FCI and various agencies. From 2.5 wastage, we have come down to 0.01%. So great achievement we have made. Still we will further improve. So there is nothing to be worried about it, but we should have modern mechanisms for procurement, storage, transportation and distribution.
Yes, sir. There is an Antyodaya card Yojana that you plan to give to the poorest of the poor families in every district of the country. Yes. So would you like to consider something like Antyodaya warehousing, like to physically deliver the grains to the needy?
See, Antyodaya is a part of the PDS system. The poorest of the poor are being given food grains at a subsidized rate. So as it becomes a part of the general PDS system, there need not be a separate storage mechanism because this becomes the part of the entire storage mechanism in the state. So with the present storage mechanisms getting more modernized and every state getting more storages and godowns, I think this present problems can be settled.
केंद्रीय खाद्य मंत्री महोदय श्री के.वी. थॉमस साहब के साथ हमारी खाद्य समस्या पर और किस तरह से नेशनल फूड सिक्योरिटी बिल को लाने के लिए सरकार कटिबद्ध है, इस पर चर्चा जारी रहेगी। हम एक छोटा सा ब्रेक लेते हैं, उसके बाद फौरन हाजिर होते हैं। सहारा समय में आपका एक बार फिर स्वागत है। केंद्रीय खाद्य मंत्री महोदय श्री के.वी. थॉमस साहब हमसे मुखातिब हैं। खासतौर पर खाद्य की समस्याएं किस तरह से हमारे देश में जनमानस को आंदोलित कर रही हैं, इसके बारे में हमसे विशेष बातचीत कर रहे हैं। Sir, coming to the political aspect of this bill, you have been recently trying to bring on board the various state governments who were willy-nilly not agreeing on the nitty-gritties of the bill and its delivery mechanisms and so many other issues. with the recent elections results out in Uttar Pradesh now, there is a new government in power. So do you hope that the government will be, do you see any further hope that with the new government of the fresh young chief minister there, more likely to come on board?
On this issue, I got two answers. One, the proposed food security bill was announced by the Rashtrapati in 2009 joint session of the Parliament in June. We have been working for the last 2.5 years, drafting the bill, discussing with various agencies, discussing with the state governments, discussing with the food ministries, and finally the proposed bill is before the people of this country again. So there is nothing that is new, but there are suggestions. So Government of India has got an open mind, because finally the bill has to be implemented by both the central and state governments working together hand in hand. So whatever are the suggestions from the state governments, we are prepared to go through that and accept whatever is possible. Coming to UP government, the present UP government, the earlier Mayawati government also, I was in touch with them. I went to UP, had a discussion. I have not met the chief minister, but I met the other ministers and other officers. And UP is an emerging state, because their food production has improved. One of the problems UP facing is we don't have adequate modern procurement centers, which we have to start now. The new chief minister is a young chief minister. Everybody expects some dynamic decisions from him. True. He was in the Parliament. I think with a modern view and a young mind, the new chief minister will be able to find out solutions, especially in the food security system.
That will be, of course, better news for the
the young man has come in. We have to support, with respect to the political leniencies and political views. Young chief minister has come. This is the will of the people of UP. True. You have to accept that.
Sir, like that brings one to early 70s when the Congress party gave a sweeping slogan like Garibi Hatao, remove poverty. Now this food security bill, the Food Security Act, this is of course one of the most ambitious programs of the present UP government, sir. And people say that it is likely to be even more effective than NRA-GEA in terms of electoral gains. And so would you like to consider going to the people in the coming elections also with something like hunger, remove hunger, bhook mitao, something like that?
See, I don't want to give an election orientation to this scheme. This is a dream project of Madam Sonia Gandhi and the Honorable Prime Minister. We don't want to use it for getting vote, because hunger is an important factor. Only hungry people know what is the importance of food. True. For the hungry people, the food comes in the form of goat. That is what is said. So this is a project by which we want nutritious food to be given to every citizen of the country, so that we have got a healthy generation. Now we see that large number of children with malnutrition. And it's a shame for the country like ours.
Certainly.
After 64 years, we say that about 1/5 of the generation, population in the country don't have nutritious food. It's a shame to us. So we have to work together. So this bill, it envisages not only the distribution, it also envisages much better production. Agricultural sector we have to invest more. Irrigation we have to invest more. Infrastructure for the agriculture purposes we have to invest more. So it needs an overall development. So food security bill basically is the overall development of the country in the agriculture sector, in the infrastructure sector, and